Okay, just a quick update. So I've moved all my colonies over to this yard, my home yard. Entrances are still plugged. I moved them this morning. Last night it was -7. Right now we're in the, I don't know, 12, 13, maybe 14 degree range in the sun. So you can see this is the colony that's still here. Bees are nice and active, and one thing I'll do before I open up the hives, I'm going to add some sugar syrup in all three hives just to minimize any robbing. They're all pretty strong, so I'm not too worried about robbing, but I'll have reduced entrances on the newly arrived colonies. So the six box nook here, I'm going to consolidate into that single. There's probably, I'm not sure what the top looks like. We'll see how many bees there are. I might add a second box, but chances are it'll just be down to a single. I'll add the feeder, and basically it's that. I put my last pollen patty about 2 weeks ago, but I still, like I said, was gone for about 2 weeks, but they're all pretty heavy. They're close to winter weight. Reason I stopped the pollen patties is to, I guess, get the queen to slow down her laying, because as long as there's pollen patties on, she keeps laying at almost regular rates. So we are getting into colder temps. With these pollies, the temperature inside versus outside, even in the morning, is it's close to 40 degrees Celsius difference, which is great for natural convection, which is great for drying out the sugar syrup. So I'm not too worried about having moisture in a poly. So I'll keep feeding. I'm going to do probably a gallon per colony, so 4 or 5 liters per colony after this, and then I'll just keep trickle feeding till there's snow on the ground, and then I'll stop. So I'll probably I'm guessing probably another 2-3 weeks of feeding. I'll give them a nice good bulk. The colony on the side here has next to no mites, very low counts, but the other 3 have, especially now that the queens have slowed down their laying, a lot of exposed mites. And the catch tray, there's a lot of dead mites on there. That's a combo of me running an OAV about 2.5 weeks ago, and with the shrinking brood nests, with the bees aborting the drone brood, fewer cappings, more exposed drone or mites, more grooming, more drop. So what I'll do probably tonight or tomorrow night is I'll do another round of OAV just to see what the drop is, and I'll probably do a couple more before the winter sets in. So first task is transfer the nook, or 6x6x6 nook, into that box, and we'll go from there. Okay, just to recap, let's see, this winter I'll be overwintering with 3 doubles and 1 single. The one, I guess, over here doesn't have a slatted rack, but I'm going to clean one and put one on before the season's done. So basically the one at the far end is at weight, so it's probably 125 pounds. It's plenty heavy. This one here is at weight, probably just over 100 pounds. They're still getting some feed, so they'll still be able to bulk up. This one here needs probably another 20-30 pounds, so probably 3 good feeds. We've got 3 weeks left. This one here probably needs another, I'd say 15 to 20 pounds, so a good feed. They're all queen right. I'll be replacing that yellow entrance with a standard wooden entrance, just so it's easier to clean the bottom board and the entrance out. That's the problem with those plastic entrances. They're good in the summer. In the winter they suck because they plug up and they're hard to clean. So that'll be coming off when I put my slatted rack on. And on the slatted rack, I've done 3 years of trials now, and I guess monitoring with sensors and humidity sensors. So it does help a lot on a single. So it helps keep it warm. It reduces cluster movement. The cluster's much more stable, which is what I'm looking for. On a double, it's minor, but I find that in the summer you just leave it year round, and it's good to go. But it has the most impact on a single, but it also helps reduce the cold stress in a double to a lesser extent. But I find that the spring ramp up is better with the slatted rack. They seem to start off slower in the morning because there is a cold pocket down there, but you just take that bottom entrance off and it heats up, especially if you face full sun, so facing south, it'll warm up. So this one on the side here, I'll just amend a little video, but got these wooden inserts that I use. Okay, so let's put this on top. Just gonna clean the box sides up a bit. Okay. So there's one. And here's another. Okay, so you can see I got the 2 side inserts there, 1 insert, 2 insert. I've got 6 frames that are pretty much all drawn out there and ready to go. And I've got 2 more here. And I can probably scrounge 1 more frame, and that'll make 9 frames. So I'm going to put 9 frames in this box. And I have another small colony that I can use a frame out of behind me. Got 4 frames, so the rest goes in. I know the queen's not in there, so it should be a quick transfer. Light, so it needs to be filled. So this colony will need some bulk feeding. Just gonna put them in the same order so everything fits like a puzzle. Okay, this one has a bit more weight. Some nectar on there. A decent number of bees. So population-wise, this colony is fine. some cat brood in the middle there. So there's still emerging bees, so which is good. And it's on both sides probably. Yeah, so there's a softball sized nest on this frame. It's going right in the middle. So that. We've got the bee numbers to stay warm. I don't use top entrances, so that's not a problem. Let's see. Again, good bee numbers. A lot of these are pre-winter bees, or pretty much winter bees. Most of these bees here will survive a good 6 to 7 months. And the last frame. And it's yeah, requires some bulk feeding. It's a pollen frame, so this will be their resource for spring. Pre my addition of there we go. One thing you want to is it's good to check the bottom of these boxes. Look for mummies, especially some of these boxes that are harder to clean. There's a couple of mites down there, but not too many, which is good. So the natural mite drop is good. This bottom's never been cleaned. So there's no chugwood mummies or nothing, so I'm happy. So pretty much this is how I made a double out of a triple 6-frame Nook box. Don't be shy about reducing volumes. Okay, it's critical. Too much volume for the number of bees is bad, especially in cold winters. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bulk feed this for the next 2 weeks so they can just bulk up. I'd say I'll just do the lift test. I'd say they're about 20 pounds from the weight that I'd want them at. So they all have their bottom board inserts in at the moment. It's better for airflow and getting a good convective current going, and that's what I need right now to dry up the winter stores. But once winter comes, all those colonies will be stuck together. Extra insulation on the outside, 2-inch on the backside, and then just a wooden structure. It's all there, so all I have to do is screw it in place on my base there. It's all predetermined. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take live bee samples probably in early October for each of the colonies, do a pre-winter nosema check, an amoeba check, and then over the winter I'll continue my typical observations, looking for bee mortality and just funny things that look out of the normal, and then try to understand what's going on. The 2 big colonies, this one and that one, still have their inner cover boards on because I was feeding pollen patties, so those will be coming off in the next couple of days. I didn't want to, because I just moved the colonies here, open up the colonies. I inspected 2 of them. I removed a medium off of this one that had a medium on top. I'll have to extract the medium because there's some sugar syrup honey on it, and then I'll just put up the box in my yard there, get the bees to rob it out, and that should be good for using for honey in the future. But in a nutshell, yeah, that's what I'm doing, and it should be good. So they're all pretty strong, so I'm not too worried about robbing, so they should be able to defend themselves against each other. Yeah, that's about it. Like I said, I went on a kayak trip and some hikes, so about 2 weeks in a trip out east. So about 2.5 weeks where I couldn't feed the bees, so I am a little bit behind on my feed. But if the weather keeps up, I should be good. So anyways, hope the update is good, and I do plan to do some more monitoring, and it'll be focused a bit more on, basically I'm going to make some sidewall censored boards, so I can measure a bit more what's going on vertically on the sidewalls, to better understand condensation. So it'll be humidity sensors above, and then temperature sensors, probably mid frame and bottom frame, and just to understand how condensation works in there. And the minner, pretty much the top, will have probably at least 5 sensors. I have enough to put 5 sensors on each of the top boxes and some of the middle boxes, and that should tell me about any heating events and general movement of the cluster. So I'm not going to do as many sensor per colony, but I'm still going to have quite a few in there, so it should be pretty